So many of you listening are incredible filmmakers, but if you're stuck in the cycle of always editing with no time to actually work on your business, it can really stunt your growth. Taylor and I see it all the time. A growing backlog, late nights behind the computer, and no space to focus on booking, marketing, or scaling. That's exactly why we're so excited to partner with Wanderlust. Wanderlust offers professional video editing services for filmmakers, including highlight films, feature films, documentary edits, ceremony and speech edits, elopements, and even social media teasers. And the best part is they match your style, so your films still feel like your artistry. Whether you edit in Final Cut, Premiere Pro, or DaVinci Resolve, they deliver a seamless outcome no matter which platform you use. Outsourcing your edits means more time working on your branding, making it to that networking event, and carving out time for education to actually grow your business instead of being buried in footage. Head over to wanderlust-videos.com to learn about their amazing services. And as a listener, you can get $100 off your first project with Wanderlust of $200 or more with the code LEVELUP100. If your backlog is keeping you from working on your business, Wanderlust is your solution.
This is the Level Up Podcast. I'm Taylor Petrinovich.
And I'm Kelly Gilster of 618 Studios.
And we are on a mission to help wedding filmmakers and photographers level up their businesses so you can make more and work less.
We want to help you confidently take your business from mainstream to luxury, and it all starts right here. Well, hello, friends, and thank you so much for joining me for another conversation here on the Level Up Co podcast. I am here with my girl, Taylor. Taylor, how are you?
I'm great. I don't know. I feel like I say I'm great every time, and then I go into a little bit of details, and then I forget to ask about you. So we're going to circle back to you here in a sec. But we're just coming off of Valentine's Day weekend. It was so much fun with the fam. Here in Northern California, we had a little bit of like a warm, like false spring over the last couple of days, but we're back to the winter blues. And we're getting ready for hybrid, which is so exciting. If you have been following us for a while, you may have heard us talk about how we are sponsoring Hybrid Co. in Charleston in February, which is literally next week. And it's finally here. So if you are going to be at Hybrid in Charleston in 2026, make sure you come by and see us. So we have kind of a fun booth prepared for you guys. We don't want to spoil anything, but make sure you come see us, say hi. We would love to meet you.
Yes, I can't believe it's already here. I was planning out my calendar for next week, and I'm like, oh my gosh, we're leaving on Saturday. So it's going to be so much fun. We're going to meet so many new friends, see so many familiar faces, a lot of past Mastermind students, a lot of Mastermind students that are going to be becoming new Mastermind students next month in our spring 2026 Mastermind group, and then just other people who are listeners. Please say hi. Like, please do. Don't be shy. We would love to chat with you, and we do have a fun booth in store. So, that's fun, Taylor. What did you guys do for Valentine's Day? Are you and James big Valentine's Day people, or do you just kind of include the whole family now?
It's a family affair for sure. Yeah. Honestly, I don't know if I've really ever been a big Valentine. I've never been like a get all dolled up and go out to a fancy dinner, like kind of Valentine's Dayer. I'm more of like a let's snuggle up on the couch and watch a rom-com with a glass of wine kind of Valentine's Dayer. So yeah, it's fine. Like we went and had sushi and did like normal stuff.
Nice. Paul and I have a tradition. Maybe we'll get to it. I feel like, I don't know, our kids are in they're in a challenging time. Not a challenging time. They are just in a exhausting time, I guess you could say. 1, 3, and 6. You're still in it. And so we had a tradition before kids, and probably when we had Micah, maybe when we had Sloan, where we make homemade pasta. So like from scratch, I have like the KitchenAid pasta mixer. Yeah, I have the KitchenAid pasta attachment for my mixer, and we would make homemade pasta and then do like a fettuccine alfredo or like a vodka sauce. And so maybe we can muster up some energy this weekend and do it again. But we usually stay in because it's so crazy at the restaurants, and a lot of times there's like a prefixed menu. So you don't get to like really order like your favorite things at the restaurants that you might like. And so it'll just be a good time at home. We are also home. Actually, what's really funny? Paul full on on the 12th of February. We're like in the mix of getting all the kids out the door for school. And he comes up, gives me a full on hug. And I'm sitting here wondering, like, what is this for? And he full on straight, like, he was so serious, goes, Happy Valentine's Day. And I was like, are you serious? He's like, yeah, it's the 12th. And I'm like, it's the 14th. And then I was joking. I was like, which means you still have 2 more days to find me a gift. And he's like, oh, yeah, right. He was so serious, like full on. It was actually kind of sweet.
That's
But
really
yeah,
sweet. Your little hug was your gift.
yeah, that was it. Um, But I did want to kind of bring in the point of this episode. And over the weekend, last weekend, I texted Taylor and I said, I have 2 great, just like analogies from my personal life that I'd love to bring into the conversation for our listeners over the next couple of weeks. And the first one is something that we have talked about on the podcast before, but I think that it is so, so important and we forget about it a lot, which is being really mindful of who you surround yourself with, not only in your personal life, but business wise too. And I think a lot of people here, they maybe don't have that business village, or they just don't have one at all, or they have a business village that they've probably outgrown. And it is so important to be surrounding yourself with people who are positive in your business goals, that are in alignment with the direction that they're headed and you're headed. Because if you do surround yourself, they say you're the product of your 5 best friends. And outside of personal stuff, the business village is so incredibly important. And it's it's really true that those seeds of doubt that people who are close to you, that are fellow filmmakers or fellow photographers, even planner friends of yours that maybe don't have the same go-getter energy that you do, just know that it's okay to seek a village that shares the same goals that you do. Taylor, anything else to add here? Do you have any, I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit. Do you have any examples of where you may have said, okay, I don't know if this individual, or maybe you had an experience where you felt a little bit brought down by your goals because someone thought that maybe they were too lofty or unachievable?
Oh, yeah. I mean, how long do we have here? um, there's actually like somebody in my personal life who I have to stay connected to because we're blood related, where we have very different outlooks on life and like finances and success. And this person, I think, is overall very jaded because they tried and they failed, and so now they're like, "So why try? I'm just gonna, like, throw in the towel and, like, go into debt and, like, who cares?" And it's, like, very opposite of what me and my family are pursuing. Like, I work a lot, I work really hard because I have really big goals for my family and for my life and for my business, and, um, I stopped sharing successes with this person because every single time I did, they would have, like, a passive aggressive comment of, like, "I tried that and it just didn't work, so I'm just not gonna do that anymore, and it's silly to waste all of your time trying to do that," or "Your priorities are wrong," or, like, whatever, and it's, like, it makes you feel so, like, yucky because like, what you want to achieve is the right thing for you, and, like, other people's opinions and perspectives and kind of like sometimes passive aggressiveness can really sour that. And if it happens enough times, like you kind of like have you ever seen the maybe Cassie can throw in an image on the podcast if you're watching on YouTube, but like there's this like really great like meme image right now going around of like a bag or a bowl of oranges, and like one of the oranges is like really really moldy, and then the ones that are like touching it are like starting to get moldy too. I kind of feel like that can happen, and maybe my example is extreme, but like if we take it to like the wedding world, like there's been people who, like we started around the same time. I grew really fast. I saw success. I entered the luxury market, and I'll see them posting things on Instagram, like kind of like not directly hating on me, but hating on what I've achieved, and like talking about how it's wrong, how we're scamming people, how it's unrealistic to like aim for this. And like, yeah, it's the moldy orange, and it's so hard to like rise above that sometimes if it's not just one person, if it's a bunch of people in your circle kind of having the same effect.
Yeah, that's so true. I loved what you said too, going back to the person in your personal life who was like saying that you have like the wrong priorities because the priorities are just different than yours. And so just understand that, and I say this to our mastermind students a lot. Please don't take advice from people whose businesses you don't respect or you're not aiming for. And I
Yeah.
know that it sounds like duh. You're probably listening and being like, duh. But I think all of us have fallen victim to someone really getting under our skin and persuading us in that way. People can be very persuasive. And so I've had to be like, because I definitely have taken business advice from people that Paul is he is like such a good judge of character and he says like, "Why would you take business advice from them, Kelly? Like they don't have the business that we want." And I'm like, "Oh, you're so right." But I was just persuaded in that moment of like, "Oh yeah, actually they have a really great point," or whatever. But you have to look at the whole the whole ecosystem of their lives and not just like that minute little thing that maybe they're talking about. So basically, I'll bring this back to something I encountered a couple weeks ago that I told Taylor I wanted to talk about with you guys. So, as I mentioned earlier in the podcast episode, we have really young kids, Paul and I, 1 year old, 3 year old, 6 year old. And it's an exhausting time of parenthood. I'm not going to lie. It really is. They require a lot of us, both physically. I mean, I have afternoons where my 1 year old will not let me put him down for like 3 hours. And then you're just like, what time is it? Is it almost 7 p.m.? Is it almost bedtime? Like, it sounds bad, but I'm just being honest. Like, they're just in a
Oh, I've been
very,
there.
you've been there, yes. And you're just like, oh my goodness. And so I've also just been trying to figure out in a way, in the same way that Taylor has said, there's been people who say, I've tried that and it hasn't worked, and they've just become very jaded. I'm trying to figure out little bits on how I can like glamorize motherhood again right now in this season and not fall into a victim mindset of like, oh my gosh, this is so hard or whatever. And I found that it takes a lot of like work on my end to then be able to like not be the moldy orange for the rest of the family. And so part of it is having more of a tidy home. So like really resetting the home at the end of the night. I have found a world of difference in myself when I wake up to more of like an organized home and not the kitchen island looking disarray from the night before or all of the papers spread from all the homework all over the dining room table. Like when I start my day off like that, I have just recognized that it is like a trigger for me. Like I'm a less patient mother in the morning. I'm less like present with the kids because I'm trying to like tidy up and all that. Same thing with lunches. Like if I get to lunches the night before, it makes a world of difference in our flow for the morning. So, back to like how this looks when you are like a go-getter in your life and you're surrounding yourself with like fellow go-getters and how when you are setting like an example for yourself and your business, other people are going to be like magnetized to that. So we had just, had an afternoon with the kids, an evening dinner, all the things. We had done the baths, cleaned up dinner, actually not quite. And we had done all the bedtime stuff. And typically how it looks is Levi, my 1 year old, he doesn't really take an in-depth bedtime routine. He's only one. So we just set him down with his milk and his sleep sack and his stuffies and his little passy. And that's that. Close the door. Micah and Sloan, my older ones, they want the books, they want the singing, they want their Tony boxes all set up and all that. So it's a more in-depth process. So we divide and conquer. I'm putting Sloan to bed, Paul's putting Micah to bed, and then I finish up with putting Sloan to bed. And so much of me wanted to just go and veg out on TikTok and sit down on the couch and just pretend like this chaos was not around me and not pour back into making myself the better mom for tomorrow. So, like, if you're thinking about this, what are the things that you can do actively that are making you the better business owner for tomorrow? So, I decide I'm going to walk right out. I'm putting my phone away. I ask Google. I found that I operate really well under like timing things. So I say, "Hey Google, set timer for 20 minutes." And I love to see how much I can get done in 20 minutes. So I'm just like, I don't get distracted by that. Like I'm really focused on the timer. And so I always do that. So I'm like, "Hey Google, set timer for 20 minutes." And I just start picking up So I'm going at just picking everything up and getting things together. And I know that Paul's in the same boat. We're both exhausted. And I know that he would love nothing more than probably to like go sit down on the couch, watch ESPN and all that. But he immediately jumps right in to help me. And I just think that it's that sense of when people are collectively working towards a common goal together, it's going to draw you in as the business owner, or it's going to keep you motivated to keep going. And that's also what I love so much about the group coaching aspect of our mastermind is that there is something so invaluable about resetting your village with a group of photographers, filmmakers, and wedding creatives that are all chasing a common goal and you all rise together.
Here at the Level Up Co., Kelly and I truly do believe that an elevated client experience from the very first touch point of that first email all the way through the delivery of your wedding films or those final galleries are all so important. And that's why Kelly and I both have been using and loving VidFlow for the last several years, and we recommend to all of our students and our audience members to use VidFlow as well. Delivery experience truly matters. The way your clients view their films for the very first time should be a magical moment. It needs to be a professional and branded experience, instead of basic file sharing like Dropbox or Google Drive, or even Vimeo or YouTube links. Through VidFlow, clients can stream their videos through smart TVs, streaming devices, and setup boxes. Apple TV, Roku, Amazon Fire, you name it. There are so many options for clients to watch and experience their films for the very first time on the big screen at home. And VidFlow is now offering photo delivery as well. They now support photo delivery with their new hybrid galleries, which is a major benefit for hybrid shooters and combined photo and video teams. You can now deliver your beautiful photo galleries alongside your video galleries in one place. Level up your delivery experience for 2026 and beyond with VidFlow. You can get started today by going to vidflow.co/thelevelupco. Yeah, well, I mean, I think what you're describing is the fact that energy is contagious. Whether it's positive energy, it is upward energy, or if it's like negative, like poo-poo on you energy, it's so easy to fall into whatever that mentality is that's around you. And this is where, like, it is so invaluable, like, to your point, to have a group of people. And the reality of this industry is we're so isolated from one another in general. Like, yes, I mean, it is a collaborative effort on a wedding day, of course, but that's such a small percentage of what we're actually doing on like a month to month basis, especially when you're only shooting like 12 to 15 weddings a year. Like, the amount of hours we're spending doing everything else is a lot more than the hours spent on a wedding day. And so what we have found with the Level Up Co., with our mastermind, is that we're kind of like it's kind of like starting school on the first day. Like, maybe you don't have any friends in this new city, and it's really hard and intimidating to go out there and make new friends. But if you're already put into a classroom with your peers who are all on a similar level with the same goal, it's really, really easy to make friends and build that community, and then take that community after class is over, after the school year is over, and foster those friendships and make them stronger as a whole. Actually, like, huge shout out. We have a few little crews across the US of alumni who they like tag us all the time anytime they get together, and they met in our mastermind. So like Summer, Summer, Tommy, Skylar, that's our like little Southeast crew, like Nashville and where's Summer from? I forget. I can never remember. Alabama, maybe?
Yeah.
So we have like that little crew. We have a little Orange County, like LA crew. We have a little crew that's kind of in like the Northeast that we
Uh-huh.
see getting together all the time. We have a big Texas crew. And so, like, we have seen it happen time and again where you put a group of people into a virtual room together, those relationships, like, seeds are planted, they're watered, they're cared for, and then all of a sudden you have your own little, like, group of, 4, 5, 6 people who are your people. You're on group threads together. Like, you're checking in every day. You're lifting each other up. We've all gone through hard times in business too, where we're going through self-doubt or second-guessing our decisions, or frankly, like, ready to throw in the towel, which is really sad. And if you're surrounded by negative Nancys who are like going to allow you to fall into that victim mindset, then you're going to. But if you're surrounded by people who have positive energy, like they're going to lift you out of it and see you through those hard times so that you don't give up on your business. I mean, I don't know. I've seen it happen on both ends where I'm watching like groups of people with different types of energies and it matters a lot.
It matters so much. And I am certain that when I left Sloane's room, and if I had just gone and sat on the couch and started scrolling TikTok, that energy would have transferred to Paul. And Paul would have come out and sat and probably turned ESPN on, or the Olympics are on right now. So it probably would have been the Olympics. And so I just know that that transfers. Like you said, that energy transfers. And sometimes there's gonna be people who are the ones that go first, right? And then other followers are gonna be drawn to you and the energy that you're putting out. And so I chose that night to pour my energy into something productive and bettering for tomorrow, because if I don't do anything, like, then nothing is ever gonna change, right? So if I'm sitting here wondering, "Why am I always so overstimulated? Why am I always so short with my kids?" or whatever, if I didn't do anything else to change, then it would probably just continue on in that cycle, and I would become that moldy orange that's
Yeah.
spreading through that whole bag, that moldy orange, you're laughing at me on TikTok. Um, so just I think that's something really to think about. I think it's something to every year probably reassess, like, who's in your corner? Who are the ones that are cheering for you in those big goals that you have? Because I can guarantee you that I had friends, colleagues in business 10 years ago who probably would never imagine that Paul and I have gotten to, like, the success that we've gotten to. And we have formed villages along the way that were in alignment with those big goals too, and cheered for you along the way. Like you said too, Taylor, earlier, that you had to stop sharing your successes with that person, which is so sad. It's really, really sad, because I know that you probably want to be that transfer energy of, resetting that mindset for that individual in your life. And then it does get to a point where you're like, well, it's sort of feeling like a lost cause now.
Yeah. You're like, well, I mean, how many years can you can you try before it's like, well, it's not going to happen. So that's where it's like, okay, well, find the new village, you know. And that's not to say like don't still have those people as friends. Like, you can collect as many friends as you want. It's like Pokemon Go, catch all the Pokemon, catch all the friends. But like we're talking about like your core people, the people that you go to for advice, the people that you go to when times are hard, when you're at your most emotionally vulnerable, whether it's the emotional highs or it's the emotional lows, because they're either going to help raise those highs for you or a negative person is going to squish your high, which is such a bummer. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I don't know. Okay, let's give some like actionable steps. Like number 1, if you're listening to this, okay, if you're driving, hit pause and then come back to it later. But if you're at a place where you can like take notes or write something down, like I want you to brainstorm like who in your personal life and in business in the wedding industry, like who are your top 10 people that you're talking to? Like it may include a parent or a spouse or a sibling or a best friend in your personal life, but I'm hoping it also includes people that you've met within the industry as well. And then I want you to like you don't have to share this note with anyone, guys. This is like a secret. I want you to like put a little smiley face or a frowny face next to each person. Like, how does this person like make you feel when you're sharing like the highs and the lows of your business? And then I also want you to rate like on a scale from like 0 to 5, maybe like, does this person have the life and the business that you want to emulate? Because that's like going to be the final test. Like, someone can be really, really positive in your life, but have terrible advice because they have never accomplished what you're hoping to accomplish, right? And so, in a perfect world, it's going to be a little smiley face. They're going to make you feel great. And they're going to already have the business that you're striving to have or the life that you're striving to have. This goes for personal life too. And if you don't have like at least 5 of those people who are it's like great scores, then it's time to seek out some new relationships.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that advice. Taylor's all about the actionable advice, if you guys haven't noticed already.
We're very
Um,
yin and yang. Kelly likes stories and like personal connection, and I like bullet points
Bullet points, Excel spreadsheets,
in chart.
numbers. actionable things. And what else? I don't know. All the stuff.
Graphs. Yeah, I mean, it's kinda great though because I think that it's a good blend. If it was just me, you guys get bored. If it was just Kelly, I don't know, maybe you would still love it.
No, he'd probably be like, "Girlfriend, give me something here. Don't just yap at me."
Have you
Um,
seen the, Hillary Duff has been, like, super viral on TikTok recently. Have you seen, like, the like, people making fun of her of, like, she gives nothing with her dances?
yes. Yes.
Give
But
nothing.
dang, she has had such a glow up. Like,
She looks
she
great.
just
I wanna
looks
go to her concert.
I know. I wasn't li yeah, I guess I was, like, a Lizzie McGuire fan back in the day, for sure.
I was.
Um, you were?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's
Actually,
cool.
so I have 3 girls, if you're new to the podcast. Mine are 9, 7, and 4, so, like, just a couple years ahead of Kelly, and we're a girl household, and I'm, like, waiting to start sharing, like, very, like, girly things like that. Lizzie McGuire's on the list, and then, my cousin's son, who is 11, is reading the Twilight series.
Oh, yeah.
I did have to warn her. I was like, "Later in the series, it gets a little spicy, like, so maybe, like, cut
Calm
him off
slow
before
down
that
the
point."
roll. Yeah.
Yeah. But I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for this phase, of all the, like, things I loved as, like, a tween, you know?"
I did not read the Twilight series. I was a huge Gossip Girl series. Like, before it was a show, I was, like, all about the books in high school.
So there's
But
another series by that author, but it's Gossip Girl for, like, middle schoolers. Do you know
yeah,
what
what's
those
it
series
called? Because I read another, like, offhand series from the same author because I really liked her, and now we've just totally derailed this conversation. You guys are just listening to us. Um, but yeah,
I'm looking it
that's
up because
fun.
it's gonna bother me. I wanna see. Dang, I need to The Click!
I read The Click. I still remember going to, like, Barnes& and Noble with my mom. I'd, like, finish a book in, like, 4 days and be like, "We have to go. We gotta go back." And so we'd, like, go down the hill. We, like, lived in a very rural area, so Barnes& and Noble was, like, a solid 35 minutes away from us. So we'd, like, go down the hill, just called the grade, into Escondido, go to the Barnes& and Noble, drive back around. It was always, like, a big endeavor to go into town.
That is a big endeavor.
Mhm. Yeah.
Wow, I'm, like, 5 minutes from Target and Costco and the mall, and I'm like, love my little suburban life.
It was very eye-opening to me when I came up here to Orange County and could get to a Target in, like, 4 minutes. It was crazy.
Different lifestyle. Okay, guys, we are off the rails a little bit, but it's fine. You guys always say you like the getting to know us episodes, so now you know. Um, okay, wrapping it up. Community matters more than you think. Even if you feel like you're fine on your own, if you feel like you're the lone wolf, if you feel like you could just figure it out by yourself, which that's like my natural tendency, if I'm being honest. But I can tell you from personal experience that my business exploded when I got over myself and realized that I was not enough and I needed other people to pour into me and to like feed off of each other's energy. So, this is an encouragement to you. Make it, I feel like all of 2025, we kept referencing like on your 2025 bingo card. So, let's put that on your 2026 bingo card is to like fill your room with more people who are going to be a positive influence. Sounds like you're in high school and I'm like trying to like give you the drug talk, but like who are going to be a positive influence on you, I guess.
Yeah. They're gonna be able to fill up your cup and
Mhm.
help you reach those goals that you're looking for, that are really cheering for you, you know? So I hope you guys enjoyed that. I just think that it's been really eye-opening to me how much control I have over different areas of my life. And I talk about business all the time. And this one was more of like personal. Like I have so much control over my own personal outcomes and abilities. And in this season of life of having young kids, there's a lot that I can do personally. And if you're sitting here being like, man, yes, I really resonate with that, it just has taken me a lot of like internal things of knowing like, okay, what are my triggers and how do I overcome that? And how do I be a positive energy for the rest of the family? And then how am I being a positive energy for those who are in my business village as well? And I hope you guys really enjoyed this one. Just kind of a short and sweet, encouraging podcast. And we have another really good one for you next week as well.
Thank you for joining us in today's conversation. Please help us reach more filmmakers and photographers like you by taking a screenshot and sharing it to social media. And don't forget to tag us at The Level Up Co.
And join us again next week, same time, same place, as we continue to level up the industry together.